35 days is the longest running government shutdown, and we are gonna hit it, I think. And that was also under Trump. Pretty cool stuff. And obviously the only reason why it's happening is because the administration refuses to fund ACA subsidies. Open enrollment started today. Can't wait. Yeah. Congress is in recess, I think. So I don't even think that they can actually end this shutdown, even if they wanted to, until next week, until Monday. Maybe I'm wrong on this, but I think it's gonna pass 35. Donald Trump is gonna hit that record, baby. He is the GOAT. You know how it is. Record after record for my GOAT. Winning. I'm on ACA plan in Alabama, single 33-year-old male. My premium is increasing from $100 to $713. Millions of us are about to be uninsured. Yeah. And there's also so many additional consequences of this. If a guy like you, a 33-year-old single male who is less likely to be sick and less likely to actually tap in to the overall insurance pool, then you're just gonna not take the chance. You're gonna be like, all right, I'm just not going to have health insurance. Like, I'm relatively healthy. So when you're taken out of the insurance pool, insurance providers lose their leverage, right? Because that's how insurance works. For those of you who don't understand how insurance works, insurance providers will take a large pool of funds and will basically leverage the healthier population that has bought in to the insurance that never ends up using said insurance against those who are less healthy who have a higher likelihood of using the insurance. This is how you create an insurance pool, right? But when the healthier people are like, well, I'm young, I'm healthy, there is a lower likelihood that I will get sick, so I'm just not going to pay these insane premiums, they pull out. They pull themselves out of the insurance pool, making it even more costly, because then you remain with only people who are the most sick, who desperately need insurance. Therefore, it creates this weird death spiral, right? And that is the major problem with the ACA subsidies. It is obviously a horrible public-private partnership structure that we have designed, not dissimilar to college campuses, not dissimilar to universities, and how much their costs have also ballooned over the years. So when Republicans actually look at this structure and say, this system is broken, this system is broken, they're not wrong. It's just that they want to break it further in the wrong direction, in the direction of deregulating the marketplace further, allowing insurance companies to basically offer you junk insurance programs, which kind of already happen, and also maybe even deny coverage to people with pre-existing conditions, because those are the ways that insurance companies can basically eradicate the more costly elements, the more costly patients. That's the system that we have, and that's the issue that we have. They want to continue privatizing insurance even further and make it even worse and more costly, whereas those of us on the left want to make this one singular pool, single payer healthcare, socialized healthcare, universal healthcare. This is what we want to do, because we understand that it is far cheaper overall to have one major pool that is comprehensive and covers every single American. That way, there is no additional market competition amongst insurance providers. There is no bloated, unimaginably costly middleman that doesn't need to exist. It's the best solution. It's cheaper. It's good policy. It's good politics. People want it. There is consensus, at least in Washington, amongst all the politicians, regardless of their party, regardless of their ideological background, with like some very few exceptions, that insurance as a sector must exist. There has to be a private insurance industry. Very, very dumb, and also incredibly consequential, incredibly bad, and yet this cruel system still remains. As it stands, despite my advocacy for Medicare for all, I still recognize that the Democrats are doing the right thing to, at the very least, offer an immediate Band-Aid solution by pushing the government to continue funding ACA subsidies so that people just don't have a lapse in their coverage, or people don't see a massive increase in their premiums. Because like open enrollment starts, and if you actually just auto sign off on your pre-existing healthcare, you might be paying like 3x without even realizing it on your premiums. In a country where 64% of Americans are living paycheck to paycheck, okay, and can't pay for $400 in emergency funds, that's the first premium payment that you have to pay that will directly put you into potentially bankruptcy. It's ridiculous. It is ridiculous. It is unimaginably cruel. It is ridiculous. And the Republicans don't even want that. They don't even want the Band-Aid. It's crazy. Democrats and Republicans have put a Band-Aid on a gaping wound, and the Republicans ripped the Band-Aid off. And they're like, nah, let the wound get worse.
Democrats demanding Republicans work with them to extend Obamacare subsidies. But Trump and Republicans say they won't negotiate until the government is reopened. The impact snowballing. Air traffic controllers.
My family is truly and genuinely, we simply cannot afford new monthly premiums for health insurance. It went up like 45%, like no joke. It's going to be $1,300 a month starting in January. I have less than 2 weeks to decide if we go without insurance or without food or other necessities. I just don't think this can continue. There is no way that this can continue, okay? Maybe I'm wrong, but this level of instability, this level of inequality, this level of unreasonable pain that the working class are subjected to, it can't continue happening. Meanwhile, on the other side, you see the ways in which the Republicans on the timeline are moving against welfare, right? They're moving against SNAP. They are hitting the racialized like SNAP line super hard. If you noticed, they just keep talking about how like black women are irresponsible or have children on purpose with numerous baby daddies just so they can like steal the taxpayer funded EBT and SNAP benefits. This is the most insane. People can't absorb a $400 emergency and they're cutting SNAP for 40 plus million and boosting premiums by far more every single month. This will break the country. Yeah, I don't know where this goes is what I mean. And meanwhile, while all this is happening, Donald Trump is throwing like a roaring 20s Gilded Age ass party. It's crazy. It's crazy.
The FAA blames a shortage of air traffic controllers on the government shutdown. Now, 32 days.
Bro, one of the craziest parts about this is that, like, we've talked about this already so many times, but there has already been a shortage in virtually every single air traffic control tower in the country, okay? And that was before the shutdown. A big part of that problem is because they're just not hiring enough people. And obviously, because they don't have the labor union power, shouts out to Ronald Reagan for that, they can't even fight for it.
With more controllers calling out sick, Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy warned this week holiday travel could be even worse.
Our traffic will be snarled, right? It'll be
There's already a hiring crisis on the ATC side. And obviously during the shutdown, as I reported, they don't train the new people. So they're basically pushing back. For as long as the shutdown remains, there will be no new trained ATC air traffic controllers. So it's cooked. It diminishes the number of existing air traffic controllers. They're in a lawsuit on denying applicants on race. And this is the other side of the story. There are dummies out here who unironically think that like the air traffic control is actually doing wokeness. Okay? Like they literally believe it. Brother, you need to understand this current administration is launching erroneous lawsuits all the time. Okay? They're launching ridiculous lawsuits to advance their propaganda so that people like you think, well, there's a legitimate case here. At a certain point, you got to realize like it doesn't matter. This is not a real issue of consequence. Okay? There is no world where like people are just like, nah, we're not training whites for air traffic control. Like, don't be ridiculous. Oh, this occurred during the previous administration. Yes, you are right, chatter. Planes are now crashing because of previous administration's woke initiatives. This is the same principle behind the military. People are so dumb. People think that the military has a recruitment crisis, and amidst that recruitment crisis, they've actually lowered standards for woke. No, they've lowered standards for the recruitment crisis so they can recruit more people. Okay? This is the problem. People want super easy to understand narratives. And Republicans have landed on a gold mine. Republicans have landed on a gold mine with this woke. You can just literally look at all of the corrosive elements under capitalism and say, oh, it's just woke and gay. People are just doing it for woke and gay reasons. And then you go, oh yeah, I agree with that. That does seem right to me.